What's going on, guys? Got another video for you today. I don't try not to do negative reviews. Not try not to do. I think if a knife isn't any good, somebody should know about it. Not that this knife isn't any good. Don't get that misconception. But I just wanted to talk about this knife. I hadn't seen a lot of YouTube videos on it. What I kind of consider the brother to this knife, the Gerber Flatiron. I've seen a lot of reviews on it. Hadn't really seen much on this. And I had a Flatiron at one point. I got rid of it pretty quick. The Flatiron, as you know, is a thumb hole opening, and the thumb hole just did not work for me on the Flatiron. I got big fat giant thumbs. I had issues deploying it. Just wasn't working for me. Not that that was the only thing I had about the knife. Everything else about the knife was fine for me. But this isn't a review on that. This is a review on this. This is the Gerber Asada. This is much like the Flatiron. It is a Cleaver style blade from Gerber. The only difference is instead of being a thumb hole deployment like the Flatiron, this one, as you can see, is a flipper, which for me works much better. It just helps me having a big knob up here to hit instead of trying to squeeze my finger down into a hole that it doesn't want to fit in. I got this knife actually not intentionally. I did not buy this knife solely with the intent of getting this knife specifically. It's actually a funny story. I was at Bass Pro Shop. I don't know if y'all have Bass Pro Shop where you live or not. Someone had got me a gift card to Bass Pro Shop for Christmas. I think it was Christmas. I don't really shop at Bass Pro Shop that often. I think they're fairly overpriced on pretty much everything. So I don't go there very often, but I got a gift card and I happened to be there one day. Well after I'd gotten the gift card, I'd actually forgot about it. And my wife reminded me while I was there. She said, "Hey, do you still have a gift card?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I do actually." And so I looked, and I did, and there wasn't really anything else there that I was interested in. And so I just wandered over to the knife case, and I think it was a $50 gift card I got, so, not a whole lot of option. Anyway, I seen this, and I thought, well, heck, it's basically free. I didn't pay for it. Might as well get it. Just see what it's about. Anyway, this is the Gerber Asada. It's a flipper version of the Flatiron. Ooh. Did you see that deployment? Yeah, we'll get to that. Like I said, I got it at Bass Pro. I paid $39.99 for it plus tax. Looking back, would I pay that for it again? I don't know. We'll talk about it. So the knife itself, it's a 3-inch blade, Cleaver style blade. It is fully flat ground all the way from the top. All the edges are nice and rounded, no hot spots. You do have a little bit of a tip right here, so, everything you would normally use a tip for. Obviously, it's not going to be that good, but it does give you a little bit of a tip to get something started with. I have picked out a splinter with this knife. It's a 3-inch blade. Your actual cutting length is 2.5 inches. Obviously, you have this big finger choil right here, and the finger choil is very, very giving. I have large fingers, and my fingers fit this finger choil just fine. The blade steel, it is 7CR17 MOV. It's 2021. At this point, if I'm paying $40 for a knife, I at least want D2, 9CR. Something. I don't want 7CR. I think Gerber's way behind the curve on that. And I know this is a Chinese-made Gerber. I know some of their American-made knives do use better steels, and you can pay for better steels. But still, at $40, I would really prefer something other than 7CR17. It will work. I've used plenty of knives that use CR17. It's just, it'll take a decent edge. It just won't hold it as long. You'll find yourself sharpening much more than you normally would. It's a stonewash finish on the blade. It's very subtle stonewash finish. I know the lighting may appear to give it a lot more sheen. It doesn't have that much sheen in person. A lot of that's just due to the lighting. It is a nice finish. Gerber did a good job on the stonewash. The handle, this part right here is an aluminum scale. The actual handle, this is a stainless steel frame lock. Solid stainless. It's not milled out. As you can see on this side, it has an over travel stop. I think someone else has mentioned this in one of the few videos I've seen. I absolutely hate this over travel stop. It is way too big and it's really in your face. And it's not the same finish as the rest of the knife. Like I said, you have this dark stainless, and then they put this bright stainless over travel stop. And I know they're trying to accentuate it. Obviously, that's why they have this little textured bit right here. But in my opinion, it's not something that needs to be, it doesn't need to be accentuated because it doesn't look very good. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm also not really a fan of these pocket clips from Gerber. Some of them are okay. This one I'm not a fan of. It's too wide. Don't know how well you'll be able to see down in there. It's not very open on this end. It's not really high. Some of my jeans, a lot of my work jeans I wear are Ariat jeans, and a lot of those have the reinforced pockets on them specifically for carrying a pocket knife. And some of those jeans it's screaming trying to get up in here. It's really, really tight. Luckily the screws are mounted up top. They're not reverse mounted underneath the clip, so they don't get in the way. But that being said, I still have a hard time getting this in some of my jeans. Some of my other jeans is not a problem. Just something to think about. As it is a stainless steel frame lock, pillar construction. You have stainless on stainless, the blade and the frame lock. And let me tell you, out of most of the knives that I have owned, which has been quite a few through my life, this has very, very, very bad lock stick. I'm going to be quiet and disengage this. Let me see if you can hear it. It wasn't that bad that time. Let me try it again. It doesn't sound, it's not acting up today. I guess it started after because it was on camera. I have gotten very bad lock stick out of this knife. I've oiled it. I've cleaned it out. I really haven't used this knife a whole lot. I've only had this knife for about 2 months now, I guess. I've carried it a little bit. Haven't used it a whole lot though. Maybe that'll break in and kind of smooth itself out. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But it's just an observation that out of the packaging from the factory, it is very bad. Adjustable pivot on this side. It is free spinning on this side. And as you can see, it is flush mounted. So good luck. The handle, overall length on the handle is about 4 1/4 inches. Plenty of real estate. The clip, as I mentioned earlier, I don't like. But one more thing I don't like, it is right hand tip up only. Now that works for me. For my purposes, because I carry right hand, I'm right-handed and I carry my front right pocket. That's perfectly fine. That's what I would have it at anyway. But that is the only position you can carry it. You can see it's mounted here. You have no mounting points on this side or anywhere on this side. Right hand tip up only is your only option for carrying this knife. Overall, the knife weighs, I put it on my scale earlier before the video. I do not have my scale with me. It is 4.8 ounces, according to my scale. I'm not sure what Gerber says. I didn't look up their specs before the video, but 4.8 ounces. It's doable. I think for this size knife, and it is a good size overall knife, I can deal with 4.8 ounces. I like heavier knives anyway, as I've mentioned in a lot of my videos. I like a chunkier knife, so that's not a problem to me. But all the technical specs out of the way, I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the things about this knife. Obviously, this is made in China knife. It doesn't say it anywhere on the knife. As you can see the blade there, you have Gerber's logo. And on the reverse side, you have a number. I don't know if you can see that, but it says 1910820A. I'm not sure what that is, manufacturer code, something like that. But nowhere on this knife that I have seen does it say made in China, which I appreciate. You know, if I can take it without it being on the knife, I will take it any day of the week. But it is made in China, and I have to say some of that shows. I have had many American-made Gerber knives, and you know, not that they've all been perfect, they haven't, but I've seen a lot more quality issues with this knife than I have some of my other Gerbers, even some of my other made in China Gerbers. But especially the American-made Gerbers, just the overall quality seemed to be a lot better on those than on this one. Like I said, it's made in China. I don't like the pocket clip. It has terrible lock stick. To the point I really don't carry this knife. I don't use it a whole lot. And I hate it because I do like the knife. I like the aesthetic of the knife. I think it's a good looking knife. This is the onyx color. To my eyes, it's almost got a little bit of a really dark green tint to it. That may just be me though. But on Blade HQ and on Bass Pro Shop's website, it is listed as onyx. It comes in a red aluminum as well, and I think it comes in a green micarta. I could be wrong on that, don't quote me, but I think it's a green micarta. I think those are your three options. But I do really like the ergos on this knife. As I've said in previous videos, I have an extra large hand, according to glove size. And as you can see, even just on the handle, I can comfortably fit all four fingers on the handle of the knife. Thumb up top, it fits just fine. If you want to choke up, get in the choil, you also have plenty of space. There's not an issue for me with it. And it's a really comfortable knife in hand. It's a really comfortable knife to use. I really like it for that reason, but that's really one of the only reasons. I like the way it looks and I like the ergos, but the knife itself has just kind of disappointed me. And like I said, that's why I rolled the dice on this knife, because it was basically free. I had a gift card that someone else had gotten me. So I'm not adding any money on it. The other thing I will mention about this knife, it's on bearings. It's not Teflon, not phosphor bronze. It is on bearings. It is rough. I don't know if you can see down in there or not. You can just take my word for it. It's on bearings. I don't know what it is. I have not taken this knife apart to really get in there and look at it. But straight out of the box, the action was really rough on this knife. And again, at that point, it was still clean. Hadn't even been put in a pocket yet. It was dry. I oiled it. It didn't really help. So I actually got in there and greased it, put some grease in there just to see if it would make any difference. And it has not. Most knives, you know, the action is a little rough, especially from the manufacturer. They'll be dried out, be kind of rough. Just put a little oil on them, they'll normally work out. This knife is not. And again, I haven't used this knife a whole lot. It doesn't have a lot of use with it. But it should be way, I mean, honestly, it's unacceptable how mine is. And mine may just be a lemon. Like I said, I'm not that worried about it because I don't really use this knife. But I'll try to show you. I'm going to fold it and open it slowly by hand. And any time I hit any resistance where I can feel it grabbing, I will kind of slow down to accentuate that. Right here, I already have resistance. You see how it jumped? That's it coming out of the detent. Gritty. It caught. Gritty. It caught. And it was smooth the rest of the way. Open it back up. It's tough. I mean, it's just rough and it's gritty. right here it catches. I can feel it actually catch, almost like it's binding up. Pull it past that, it catches. It opens a little bit and it catches again right there. Open it, it catches right there. And then all the way back to lock. You saw me when I first started the video misfire. I have a lot of flipper knives. Flippers are not a problem for me. This knife is tough. It is just tough. And I don't know what it is. Just sitting here and flicking it, I do have an issue with it. Just sitting here still like this. No. Yep, went that time. I can get it out every time with a little wrist flick. That's never been an issue. A little wrist flick will overcome all of it, but it shouldn't have to. For a knife that's on bearings, this knife, the action should be way smoother than it is. And I honestly don't know what it is. I'm going to take it apart at some point. Maybe. At this point, I kind of don't really have any interest in even messing with it anymore. I don't know. I just don't know what it is. I've oiled it. I've greased it. I've done everything that I would normally do to any other knife to make it run 100%, and most of my other knives do. If this was on Teflon, you know, I may be a little less harsh on it. But even still, I've had cheap, you know, Chinese-made no-name knives that ran on Teflon that were smoother than the action on this knife. And like I said, I hate that because I really did want to like this knife. Like I said, I love the aesthetic of it. I like the kind of very simple, you know, it's not over the top, at least on the show side. On the clip side, it gets a little busy. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this over travel stop right here. I think that should never have made it out of the drawing room. I don't know who thought that looked good. It doesn't to me. But I mean, the blade's sharp. The blade came decently sharp. In all aspects of use, it would work fine. It's too much for me to want to deal with between the over travel stop and the terrible lock stick and the action. I don't see myself ever using this knife. And I really did want to because I like the way it looks. I really like the ergos. The ergos are really good for me. It fits my hand really well. But I don't know. I'm just not crazy about it. And I hate that. Well, I've got it out. I've got a few other knives. I will show you for size comparison. This is a Benchmade bug out. I'll try to line them up on the tips. Almost the same size. The Gerber is just a hair longer than the Benchmade. And then I'll show you a bigger one that a lot of people have. This is a Cold Steel Recon 1 large 4-inch blade. As you can see, the Cold Steel is much longer. Much longer. A lot of that is the handle length. But the Cold Steel is almost 2 inches longer than the Gerber. Just show you those for general size comparison, so you can get an idea of how big the knife is. But yeah, you may already have one of these. You may be thinking about getting one. I will say, if you don't have very large fingers and thumb holes have never given you a problem, and normally they don't give me problems. I've got multiple Spydercos. I don't have an issue with those. The Flatiron was just, the thumb hole didn't do me right. It didn't fit me good. My recommendation, if you can deal with a thumb hole, I would go for the Asada. Like I said, I had one and I really liked the knife. I liked everything about the knife. I just couldn't get over the deployment of it. The thumb hole didn't work for me. But in all aspects, I would take the Asada over this. And like I said, this is a sample of one. This is the only one I've had. This is the only one I've handled. I bought this myself. It was a new knife. And honestly, it just runs like shit. and I hate to say that. I hate to beat it on a knife. But, you know, they can't all be perfect. They can't all be ideal. You're going to have some bad ones every now and then. And as you can see, the lockup on this frame lock is, I'm going to call it 95 to 100%. It is way, way in there. It's deep. I mean, it gets all the way up in it. I think that contributes a lot to the lock stick. I mean, Lord, just from the few times I've opened it on video, got a dent in my thumb. You can feel it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Like I said, this is the Gerber Asada. You may have one. You may love it. I don't know. If you do, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got a good one. Mine, I'm just not crazy about. The action on it isn't good. Just the fitment, the way the knife fits together in a lot of regards, just doesn't work for me. But like I said, if you're looking into a cleaver style blade, there are many others that I would rather have besides this. Kaiser Sheepdog, Civivi, the Mastodon, the Bull Mastiff, and of course, you know, some of these are much larger, some of them are smaller. Or even the Gerber Flatiron. If you're just wanting a Gerber for one reason or another, I would recommend going with the Flatiron. Who knows, this may work for you. Anyway, just wanted to give you all my thoughts on it. Anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Thanks.